From the moment we are born, humans have an innate preference for sweetness. This inclination is deeply rooted in our biology. Sugar, a simple carbohydrate, is a primary source of energy for our bodies. It is found naturally in fruits, vegetables, and dairy products. However, in today's world, sugar is often added to processed foods, drinks, and snacks. This easy access to large amounts of sugar has led to an overconsumption that can have negative consequences for our health. Sugar's prevalence in our diets is undeniable. It is found in everything from breakfast cereals to pasta sauces. This widespread availability makes it challenging to avoid. While sugar in moderation is not inherently harmful, excessive consumption can disrupt the body's delicate balance. Understanding how sugar affects our brains is crucial for making informed dietary choices. When we eat something sugary, the taste buds on our tongues are the first to detect its presence. These tiny sensory organs are covered in specialized cells called taste receptors. Each taste receptor is designed to recognize a specific taste, such as sweet, sour, salty, bitter, or umami. When sugar molecules bind to sweet taste receptors, they trigger a signal. This signal travels from the taste buds to the brainstem, the lower part of the brain that connects to the spinal cord. The brainstem acts as a relay station, directing the signal to other parts of the brain for further processing. This is where the sensation of sweetness is registered, and our brain begins to understand that we have consumed something pleasurable. From the brainstem, the sweet signal embarks on a journey to various parts of the forebrain, including the cerebral cortex. The cerebral cortex is the outermost layer of the brain, responsible for higher-level functions like thought, language, and memory. Within the cerebral cortex, different regions specialize in processing specific sensory information. The taste signals are routed to the gustatory cortex, where the complex flavors of sweetness are deciphered. However, the story doesn't end there. The sweet signal also activates a crucial network in the brain known as the reward system. This system is evolutionarily ancient and deeply ingrained in our survival mechanisms. It is designed to reinforce behaviors that are essential for our well-being, such as eating and reproduction, by making us feel good when we engage in them. The reward system is a complex interplay of neurons, neurochemicals, and brain regions. When activated by something pleasurable, like the taste of sugar, it sets off a cascade of events. One of the key players in this system is a neurotransmitter called dopamine. Dopamine is often referred to as the feel-good chemical because it is associated with feelings of pleasure, motivation, and reward. When we consume sugar, the reward system is stimulated, leading to a surge of dopamine release. This dopamine rush creates a sense of euphoria and reinforces the desire to seek out more sugar. In essence, our brain learns that sugar equals pleasure and motivates us to repeat the behavior that led to that pleasurable experience. Section 5. The perils of overactivation, a slippery slope to addiction. While the reward system plays a vital role in our survival, its overactivation can have detrimental consequences. When we repeatedly overstimulate this system with substances like drugs or highly processed foods laden with sugar, it can lead to a state of dysregulation. This dysregulation can manifest in several ways, including tolerance, withdrawal, and cravings. Tolerance occurs when we need increasingly larger amounts of a substance to achieve the same level of reward. Withdrawal refers to the unpleasant physical and emotional symptoms that arise when we stop using a substance. Cravings are intense desires for the substance, often accompanied by obsessive thoughts and compulsive behaviors. This combination of tolerance, withdrawal, and cravings is a hallmark of addiction. Section 6. Sugar's journey through the body, from tongue to bloodstream. Once sugar has tantalized our taste buds and activated our reward system, it embarks on a journey through the digestive system. From the mouth, sugar travels down the esophagus and into the stomach. Here it is mixed with gastric juices before moving into the small intestine. The small intestine is where the majority of nutrient absorption takes place. In the small intestine, enzymes break down complex sugar molecules into simpler sugars, primarily glucose. Glucose is the body's primary source of energy. It is absorbed into the bloodstream through the lining of the small intestine. As glucose levels in the blood rise, the pancreas, a gland located near the stomach, releases insulin. Section 7. Dopamine, the master puppeteer of pleasure and reward. Dopamine, a neurotransmitter produced in the brain, plays a pivotal role in regulating our experience of pleasure and reward. It is released in response to pleasurable stimuli such as food, sex, and social interaction. This release reinforces the behaviors that led to the pleasurable experience, increasing the likelihood that we will repeat them. Different foods trigger varying degrees of dopamine release. Foods high in sugar, fat, and salt tend to elicit the most significant dopamine surges. This is because our brains are wired to seek out calorie-dense foods which were essential for survival in our evolutionary past. However, in today's world of readily available, highly palatable foods, this dopamine-driven reward system can lead to overconsumption and health problems. Section 8. The fading allure of familiarity, dopamine, and repeated consumption. Interestingly, the dopamine response to food is not always consistent. Our brains are wired to pay attention to novelty. When we encounter a new food, especially one that is highly rewarding, our dopamine system lights up like a Christmas tree. However, as we become accustomed to a particular food, the dopamine response gradually diminishes. This phenomenon is known as habituation. It is our brain's way of preventing us from overindulging in any one food and ensuring that we maintain a varied diet. This drive for novelty helps explain why we often crave new and exciting foods and why we may experience a decline in enjoyment from foods we eat frequently. Section 9. Sugar addiction, a growing concern. The similarities between sugar consumption and drug addiction have become increasingly apparent in recent years. While sugar may not have the same immediate and potent effects as addictive drugs, it can hijack the brain's reward system in a similar way. This can lead to a cycle of cravings, overconsumption, and withdrawal symptoms when sugar intake is reduced. Research has shown that sugar can trigger the release of dopamine in the brain, much like addictive drugs do. This dopamine surge creates a sense of pleasure and reinforces the desire to consume more sugar. Over time, the brain can become less sensitive to dopamine's effects, leading to tolerance. This means that individuals may need to consume increasingly larger amounts of sugar to experience the same level of reward. Section 10. Finding the sweet spot, moderation for a balanced life. While the addictive potential of sugar is a growing concern, it is important to remember that not everyone who consumes sugar will develop an addiction. However, it is crucial to be mindful of our sugar intake and strive for moderation. Consuming excessive amounts of added sugar has been linked to a range of health problems, including weight gain, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and certain types of cancer. By understanding how sugar affects our brains, we can make informed choices about our diets and develop healthier relationships with food. Reducing our intake of added sugars, opting for whole, unprocessed foods, and paying attention to our body's hunger and fullness cues are all steps we can take to support our overall